We won the national championship the day that I was inaugurated as vice president as the Ohio State Buckeyes. So I'm pretty lucky this year with sports.
Did you put an ask in, by the way, on inauguration night about whether you could catch a plane?
I did.
Yeah, I thought so.
There are stories that I am particularly focused on, in part just because you talk with your buddies about it. Like, I'm obsessed with the whole UFO thing. What's actually going on? What were those videos all about?
He's a big UFO guy. So.
I am. I've been to Roswell.
Have
I've done the tours. I've done the whole thing.
Did you see any aliens?
No, I saw the hangar where they were.
My political advice to the Democrats is continue to tell everybody who thinks Sydney Sweeney is attractive is a Nazi. that appears to be their actual strategy. I mean, it actually reveals something pretty interesting about the Dems, though.
America is back. Thanks to President Trump and leader John Thune's working family tax cuts, we stopped the biggest tax hike in history. But that's only the beginning. The big, beautiful bill also cuts taxes on tips and overtime, secures the border, finishes the wall, and protects Medicaid for Americans, not illegals. Leader Thune and Senate Republicans got President Trump's conservative agenda done, providing real relief for every hardworking American that's up early and home late. We're bringing manufacturing jobs back home and making America great again. Tell Leader John Thune and Senate Republicans thank you for delivering President Trump's agenda. Learn more at onenationamerica.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs.
It's time for our main event.
Mr. Vice President, thank you for hosting us here.
It's good to be with you guys. Good to see you all.
The Indian Treaty Room, as we've discussed.
In my honor, I appreciate that.
In the honor of Slug, yeah, that's great. Happy to welcome you in style to the Indian Treaty Room.
It's wonderful. Listen, I think the last time that we saw you, you uncovered one of the greatest scandals in sporting history, in the angling community at least, as we were fishing, and this guy tried to steal a victory from you and I.
I remember that.
Out on fishing boats.
Oh no! Buddy, they got a fish over there. Oh no! Oh no!
That is a dead fish. Look at that fish.
It's a dead fish. It doesn't count.
It's a dead fish!
It has to be alive. I'd like a hand recount of that fish because none of us think that fish is actually alive.
What I remember is when we got back, it was pretty cold. You know, it was Michigan in October, so it was a little chilly. But I was like, it's not that chilly because the fish is frozen solid. And that was my first tip-off that we had a sort of stop the steal moment here. But yeah, no, I actually, I was telling you guys earlier, I went fishing. I caught 4 fish last week. It was a big deal.
Nice.
We were in Nantucket for a fundraiser, and then I was able to get a little fishing in beforehand, so that was nice.
Just a touch of normal life.
Just a touch of normal life, you know, me and my 9 Coast Guard boats and 4 police boats. But no, man, it's good. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's great to see you too.
You know, last time we hung out, you were just podcast hosts, and now you have your own TV show.
Well,
so,
we're
all moving up in the world. We all have new jobs.
We're ticking up a little bit, just a little bit. But no, thank you for doing this. And I know this is going to be all the hard-hitting questions.
Okay, good.
I mean, we're just going to come at you like hardcore journos.
It's actually doing a friendly interview or like an interview with people I like is way more dangerous.
That's where you get in trouble.
That's exactly right. Because when you're doing a super hostile interview, first of all, you pretty much know what they're going to ask, and you're kind of like ready for battle. I think it's when you let your guard down. Actually, is when I've gotten the most trouble. But it's
good.
Okay.
Let's get
into it. let's just wade into really I won't say deep shit. Or you'll have to bleep it out, I guess.
Not really. No, I think they've taken the governor off of us altogether.
Right. You guys are still good and unfiltered.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to start with probably the most important discussion happening in our country today, which is Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
So the Democrats have essentially been like, Sydney Sweeney represents like a Nazi white supremacy issue. Do you think it's that deep? And do you think attacking Sydney Sweeney is how they can win back young males?
Is that a good move?
Yeah, my political advice to the Democrats is continue to tell everybody who thinks Sydney Sweeney is attractive is a Nazi. that appears to be their actual strategy. I mean, it actually reveals something pretty interesting about the Dems, though, which is that you have like a normal all-American beautiful girl doing like a normal jeans ad, right? They're trying to sell jeans to kids in America, and they have managed to so unhinge themselves over this thing. And it's like, you guys, did you learn nothing from the November 2024 election? Like, I actually thought that one of the lessons they might take is we're going to be less crazy. The lesson they have apparently taken is we're going to attack people as Nazis for thinking Sydney Sweeney is beautiful. Great strategy, guys. That's how you're going to win the midterms, especially young American men.
Their course correction lasted about 30 seconds.
That's right. Lasted 30 seconds. Somehow has gotten even crazier. But again, it's just so much of the Democrats is oriented around hostility to basic American life. So you have a pretty girl doing a jeans ad and they can't help but freak out. It reveals a lot more about them than it does us.
No question. Duncan?
Yeah, so I think this is important because you're obviously a really cool, normal guy. And so I have to imagine.
We can wrap the interview there. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. We're done.
Like having gone fishing with you and everything, I know that from experience. And so I have to imagine becoming vice president of the United States is sort of a jarring experience.
Yeah, it's
at
weird.
some level where it's like you kind of have an idea of what you're getting into, but you really don't.
That's right.
And I'm curious in this first 6 months, which has been incredible and you guys have accomplished so much, is there one thing that is like, this is crazy? What's the craziest thing you've been sort of roped into here in this first 6 months?
Oh man, that's a really good question. I mean, there's so much I could talk about, just the job, about all the interesting conversations you have in the Oval Office of the president. I mean, we're here in the Eisenhower Executive Office building. For those who are watching or listening, like across the street is the West Wing, right? Which is where I have an office here, but my main office is in the West Wing, and so you do all this cool stuff. But two things I would point out. Number one is I really miss driving. Right? That's kind of the craziest thing, is I don't drive a car anymore. I haven't driven in a week. And I remember, I mean, it's, obviously a very tragic, but ultimately a good moment for the country because the president survived. But when you had the shots ring out in Butler, PA, I was asked to be the VP nominee a couple days later. And that day, we were out at a mini golf thing in a brewery in Cincinnati with our kids. I grabbed the kids when I saw the president had been shot. I didn't know if he was okay or not. We drove home, and I didn't realize at the moment that, on the way home, somebody calls me, says the president's okay. It's like, all right, thank God the president's okay. But that was the last time I had driven a car.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was it?
Getting that phone call. And then we pull into my driveway. The governor of Ohio sends the highway patrol to sort of do, basically some security for the house for the next couple of days.
On what was about to happen.
Which we didn't know it at the time, but because I was like one of the plausible contenders and that had just happened, he sent the highway patrol of Ohio to sort of take care of us. And I didn't realize that was it. I would never drive a car again. The other crazy thing is, so we were home we were in Cincinnati last weekend. And I actually didn't realize this until this moment, that we went on a 3.5 mile hike with our kids, and it was hot as hell in Cincinnati. It was one of these 94 degree, 95% humidity days in southwestern Ohio. And I was looking, and I saw the mill aide, who's the person who carries the nuclear football, and she was sweating like crazy with this 50-pound pack. And I was like, wait, you have to come with me when I go on a hike with my kids? And then I kind of hit me oh, it makes sense, but you must hate my guts right now. I just made you run through southwestern Ohio 3.5 miles. She's absolutely miserable, but you got to do what you got to do. And my wife actually asked the Secret Service afterwards. She was like, do they just hate the fact that we still try to live a pretty active, normal life? And the Secret Service is kind of it was well, half of them really like it because it forces them to exercise, and half of them, absolutely hate your guts. Was basically the conclusion.
Well, you mentioned Cincinnati. We can't get through a single interview with anybody without this guy injecting Ohio.
Hamilton, Ohio. Yeah. Proud native.
Man's proud of his town.
That's right.
It's just part of it.
Go Big Blue.
Yeah, absolutely. But
that's a reference to the Ohio State fans to the Hamilton.
Yes,
that was a Michigan shout out.
That was not a Michigan shout out, to be clear.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But as you know, in our hometown, just a few days ago, there was a horrible incident. Everybody saw it play out on the internet. And, just people saw it in Cincinnati, people saw it around the country. And, every city has its down days, its down months. But I'm wondering, you guys have done so much to keep people safe around the country from a federal level. What more do you think cities can be doing to make sure that people stay safe in their cities, in the coming months and years?
I think the biggest thing, and obviously we can help this at the federal level, but the most important thing that states and cities can do is to actually solve the law enforcement recruitment challenge that we have. Yeah. So a big part of the story, what happened in Cincinnati, I assume you're talking about this terrible brawl that happened in southwestern Ohio, You had, I mean, basically a woman who was just an innocent bystander who got punched in the face by a grown man. That's being investigated. Hopefully those folks are brought to justice. Just a really disgusting act of violence. But part of the story there is that there weren't enough police officers at the Cincinnati Jazz Festival. Why aren't there enough police officers? Because there aren't enough police officers in Cincinnati. And if you talk to local law enforcement, they'll tell, sometimes you hear heartbreaking stories of a fourth, fifth generation cop who says, I tell my son or daughter, do not go into law enforcement because it's so uncomfortable, because they got attacked so much, especially back in 2020, 2021. And that's just left a really bad hangover. So we've got to get the best and the brightest into law enforcement. I think the most important thing is local governments. You still got a lot of blue, big city mayors, people who maybe have some memories of the defund the police moment. Maybe they themselves were actually advocating defund the police. They've got to say, okay, this was a crazy moment. We got to support our local cops, and we got to get good people back into law enforcement, because pretty much every big city police department is really understaffed. You're going to have stuff like that, right? Because, look, Cincinnati's not the biggest city in the world. You got 300,000 people, give or take, in the actual city proper. You're going to have, of 300,000 people, sometimes you're going to have misbehavior. You got to make sure local law enforcement is there to respond to it, so you don't have this really disgusting street brawl that just went on and on and on. People got hurt. It's really terrible. The way to fix it is to get good people back into law enforcement.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So one of the things that really, I think, resonates with all of our audience, certainly with us, about you and being here is just you're a normal guy, as Duncan was saying. It can kind of identify with how you deal with it. So now you got this gig, right? We're all familiar with Hillbilly Elegy, your story. You had a lot of tough jobs over the years.
I have.
And now you're like Tom Brady's backup in some ways.
That's good.
Right?
That makes me feel like shit. That's a good way of putting it. I'm the backup to the GOAT. That's a very good way of putting it.
So, you're at the Naval Observatory.
Yeah,
Beautiful piece.
That
of
is
land.
the one thing I will say. I think I've got definitely the best residence.
Yeah,
the
give us a
president
little-
even will say that.
Give us a little insight into the day in the life. Like, I know you're working all the time, and I don't mean to undermine that, but you got this big, beautiful piece of land. You got your kids out playing in the yard. You're doing stuff. Like, give us a little flavor for what that's like.
So the vice president's residence, which is on the old Naval Observatory, is about 40 or so acres of completely private space. And then, outside of business hours, the Naval Observatory is empty. So we've got probably 130 acres of just our own space.
Wow.
And it's amazing for the kids. So an 8-year-old, 5-year-old, and then a 3-year-old, they've got plenty of room to run around. Like for example, a couple weeks ago, there's like a running track there that's really nice. And I was running, it was sort of later in the day, and there were just lightning bugs everywhere. And it kind of hit me like, when was the last time the kids were just able to catch lightning bugs?
See nature.
Right?
Yeah.
Or fireflies. I think it's a regional thing. I think if you're further west, you call them fireflies. Anyway, so I take the kids out there in a golf cart, and they're just running around catching lightning bugs at 8:30 at night. Yeah. And my wife's like, it's time for bed. And I'm like, but they're having such a good time. It's just like moments like that you think you sort of have to give up, but you're on such a private area that it actually preserves a lot of normalcy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
And like Ush and I can go outside and have a beer and just sit on the porch and watch. Like, my favorite thing growing up in southwestern Ohio, absolute favorite thing is like a summer thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And DC's got a lot of those. We've got this beautiful porch. We just go out, have a beer, watch it rain, the dog's hanging out. There are a lot of perks to this. And there are certainly, sacrifices and responsibilities, but I really do think that Tom Brady backup notwithstanding, it's pretty much the best job, because the flip side of that is, I like, the president encourages me to be involved in everything, and I've never felt like he's shut me out or that I haven't been part of the core team, and that makes the job very cool. But fundamentally, the honest truth is he bears more of the weight of responsibility, right? He's the one who ultimately has to make these big decisions. He delegates and involves everybody, but that's an incredible burden. I just get to hang out and take all the credit when things go well. And then my kids have this beautiful house with a wonderful swimming pool in the middle of Washington, D.C. It's not a bad gig.
A nation isn't just built.
It's powered
by people like us.
Last year, Chevron increased U.S. production by nearly 20% to help keep energy reliable. And since 2022, we've spent $44 billion with local suppliers, supporting good jobs across all 50 states. But we're not done yet. Now we're investing $9 billion in American energy projects to help build the future, right here at home.
We put in the work.
Because America depends on it.
Learn more about the hands at work powering America.
Do you have NFL Sunday ticket?
Oh, that's a good question.
I actually do not have the NFL Sunday ticket. I need to get it, but
It's coming up.
I mean, it's coming up, right? I mean, I guess the season starts. Preseason probably starts in a few days, right? When's the Hall of Fame game?
Hall of Fame game is tonight.
It's tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was actually just in Akron a couple days ago, and they had it all decked out, ready for the Hall of Fame game there in Canton. So I pretty much only follow the Bengals at this point in my life, right? Sort of Cincinnati sports guy.
So
It's
just
tough.
so you know, we
It's
hit a
tough.
hard cap on Ohio.
No, I know.
references.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. We've hit our limit.
No. There is no cap.
So the thing is, I don't, because somebody always has Sunday ticket. I'm always able to watch the Bengals games, and like I used to have Red Zone, but I just don't have enough time to watch NFL football anymore. That even Red Zone is kind of like a thing that I don't really need. So I don't know. Maybe now that I'm vice president, I'll get back into watching like every game possible. But we'll see. So we'll see how busy it is come the fall.
I mean, that's the thing is, it feels like this administration and you especially have this very strong level of appealing to young males in this country who have for so long been neglected.
Yeah.
I think it'd be critical, number one, for you to get Sunday ticket. Make sure you watch football. And number two is hang out with us on Sundays.
There we go.
Like, I will watch football.
There we go.
AFC football's terrific.
In case you missed that, Smug just invited ourselves to the.
Yeah, that's great. You guys come over to the VPR every Sunday. I'm sure my wife will be thrilled. It's like, all right, honey, look, I know we have a busy life, but we're gonna watch 11 hours of football.
Right.
Yeah. And that was another thing. Like I used to be an obsessive NFL fan, right? And I remember when we lived in California, the games start there at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, all right, honey, I'm going to watch football from about 10 o'clock until 8 o'clock at night. And the minute we start having kids, it's like, that is not happening
Do
anymore.
not tell my wife that. Do not tell my wife. She's still under the impression that was part of the
don't ruin it for all of us.
But it did really focus my fandom on the Bengals.
Yeah.
So, there are good things that come along with. By the way, the Bengals, this is our year. I know you said we have enough Ohio references, but we fixed the O-line this year.
Yep.
We still got some, we'll see. I think Burrow is at the perfect stage of maturity. The wide receiver core is excellent.
Yeah, you got that.
I think our defense is solid. Look, man, this is the classic refrain for 41 years of Bengals fans. My entire life, this is our year. But I actually think this is our year. By the way, we won the national championship the day that I was inaugurated as vice president as the Ohio State Buckeyes. So I'm pretty lucky this year with sports.
Did you put
I'm
an
feeling
ask
good.
in, by the way, on inauguration night about whether you could catch a plane?
I did.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I put the ask in beforehand, but I was like talking to the president. I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if we got inaugurated, and I just went down to, I think the game was in Atlanta,
Mercedes-Benz.
and watched the national title game. And he's like, oh yeah, that's great. And I was like, yeah, it would mean that I would have to miss all of the inaugural balls. And he was like, oh, that's not so great. But I was able to catch the game in between the balls.
Yeah.
So the scary thing is, if you remember the game, Ohio State started out really well. Yeah. Like we went up so much where I was like, I went to the first ball thinking I don't really have to worry about this game. And then I think it was in between the second and third ball, I was like, no, I'm not leaving. We have to watch because it tightened up a little bit. Notre Dame came back. But we won. It worked out. We had the Ohio State Buckeyes at the White House, which was very exciting.
I bet that was exciting.
I broke the national championship trophy, one of my low points as vice president. But
it looks fragile.
Okay. The thing is,
To me, that's poor advanced work.
Okay.
Advanced guys, throw them
That's
under
enough.
the bus.
Yeah,
Everybody knows not to give the vice president glass.
But like it looks like a trophy that you just pick up by the base, but actually the trophy lifts out of the base.
Mm-hmm.
And so like what happened is I tried to pick up the whole trophy and then it started to wobble because you're not supposed to pick up the whole thing. And then,
Just panicked.
what happened. It actually, one of the players was trying to help me and grabbed it, like grabbed the trophy itself and lifted it out. I was like, oh my God, we just broke the trophy. But That was actually on purpose.
I don't think
it's meant to be left today.
I don't think you're going to have the same problem with the Lombardi Trophy next.
No, that's
March.
right. Very simple. Yeah, very good, old-fashioned American manufacturing. It's good. Just a single piece of steel. That's right. That's the vice president proof trophy is the Vince Lombardi Trophy. So to the Bengals, you've got to win.
Yeah.
You've got to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things that we were wondering about, I mean, we do our show in large part because we feel like we're talking to our buddies back home.
Sure.
You know, and it's like, what would make them laugh? What would make them think? What information are they thinking about? And I know you kind of have this with people you grew up with and your family, and we've met some of them who are fantastic, by the way. How do you still communicate? I'm not asking you how you communicate, but do you, I mean, like
Phone. I have a cell phone still.
Yeah, they didn't take that away.
They didn't take that away, but sorry, go ahead.
Like I got like a 20-year text chain with guys that are just like busting my balls all the time.
Yeah.
You're vice president. Like, does that still happen?
That still happens.
Yeah?
That definitely still happens. No, I mean, there's a text chain that I have with like my closest buddies, like my groomsmen.
Yeah.
And we're, go back to high school. Some of us even go back to elementary school. And yeah, I mean, like if you wanted to ruin me politically, you would just leak this text chain to the American media. But luckily, all my buddies are still very, very close and very loyal. I mean, it actually, I think, makes the job just so much better because it keeps you humble and it keeps you grounded. And also, like, there are things my buddies are thinking about and talking about that sometimes interact with this job that I wouldn't be aware of. I mean, the worst thing I would say about this job is you really do live in a certain bubble. Like I can't just like walk down to the coffee shop or walk out to a bar and grab a beer and just like, you have random conversations with strangers. That just doesn't happen anymore, right? And so my buddies, my family are sort of the only way that I think I get constant unfiltered input. And even when I go out and do events, I mean, they're fun and I love them and I love talking to people, but people just treat you a little bit differently now. They're a little bit less filtered than they would have been, I think, even when I was a senator. But the people who are still maximally unfiltered are my buddies from back home.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And you always know when you get something from them, they're probably not following politics day in, day out. But if something breaks through and they start busting it up on you, you're
100%.
like, uh-oh.
No, that's exactly right. No, that's exactly right. Like once they're talking about an issue, I know that it's broken contain here.
Yes,
and it's but what's so interesting about it is there are issues like, pharmaceutical pricing that I would have never thought about as like a main issue for my buddies who are all, about my age, around the age of 40. But then they're like, oh, Trump just did this thing and it's really cool. And I'll be like, oh, that's amazing. To your point about breaking containment. And then they'll send me messages about like, oh, did you know this was happening in some random part of the world? And sometimes it's like, no, I didn't, but I'll go find out and figure out what the hell's going on.
I think I got a guy for that.
Yeah, exactly. I know a guy. But the other thing is there are stories that I am particularly focused on, in part just because you talk with your buddies about it. Like I'm obsessed with the whole UFO thing. What's actually going on? What were those videos all about? What's actually happening? I haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but we're only 6 months in. We've been very busy. That's actually the August recess is in part me going to try to dive to the bottom of the whole UFO thing from last year. So
I mean, you got to have us back.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
We'll help you go through the whole Roswell situation and everything.
Yeah.
He's a big UFO guy. So.
I am. I've been to Roswell. I've done the tours. I've done the whole thing.
Did you see any aliens?
No, I saw the hangar where they were. No, I got the whole dime store tour of Roswell.
So
They're a little bashful about it now.
Okay, so we'll have to check back on that.
But if you need to take me to Area 51, I'm happy to, to join.
Once I get to the bottom of it,
okay.
If there's anything there, I'll make sure you're the first to know.
Don't take any of these guys.
He's offering himself for an experiment.
Don't do it.
I'll take Smug to Area 51.
That's content and
with
ratings.
the sunglasses. I'm sure it won't raise any alarm bells when we roll in.
I love it. Listen, Mr. Vice President, I can't thank you enough for having us here. This is always a pleasure. You're such a good dude, and we love hanging out. So thanks a bunch.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a fun day, fellas.
Right?
I mean, look, the vice president is a terrific guy. We've gotten to know him over the years. We had the opportunity to go fishing with him, obviously, that we talked about. But, in this town, we've been around a little bit, there's always an element of formality that you deal with that it's largely driven by staff and like they try to make you stiff about these sort of things. Not the case with the vice president's staff.
So, I mean, it was very refreshing to me. Whenever I get to hang out with JD, it's super refreshing because, I mean, you guys are DC folks. You've been around the swamp a while.
Jesus.
But,
My
me and JD, we're from the real America.
This
and seeing
is
that,
so
like,
bad.
the swamp can't
Hilarious.
change him.
Hilarious.
The swamp can't change him. You know? You love to see that.
Now, I loved his story about catching lightning bugs out in the back from the Naval Observatory. But, my one complaint with the vice president, I'm really disappointed in him. The fact that we are less than a month away from NFL football.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know his Sunday ticket situation.
You got to lock in.
Got to lock in, dude.
Got to lock in. We can bring the big screens. I didn't hear a commitment there either, by the way.
Disappointed.
We kind of put him on the spot about being invited to the Naval Observatory. He made it sound like the second lady would not be happy with it, and we said we were comfortable with that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's it. I mean, it's
Extremely.
a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. I think it felt like he was like, okay, cool, roll up week 1 is at my place, Naval Observatory. I'll have Sunday ticket.
yeah.
But it's such a comfortable. He's such a good guy, and the thing that we try to do here at Ruthless that you're not going to get in the, all the news stations and your newspapers. Anytime you give like a broadcast journalist a ability to go interview the vice president or the president or any of the cabinet, it's a knee-to-knee situation. Where they set up the Nixon frost, right? And they're like, here are all the things that people are worried. And none of the things that they talk about are things that people are worried about. But it's like, I'm going to try to wedge you between this issue and that issue and try to split your constituency and make controversial news. And like, that's not what we do, right? I mean, we make plenty of news, no question about it. I mean, shit, we made national headlines on Tuesday with the EPA administrator. But the whole point is to try to give you, the viewer and the listener, a little bit of an insight into what makes these people tick.
And there is nobody who is more authentic
Totally agree.
than JD Vance. I mean, the whole line of questioning about Tom Brady's backup.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude, it was the funniest thing ever. And the reaction was so natural. Like, this is the kind of guy that everybody is like, yes.
Yeah.
I want that kind of authenticity in that kind of office right now. And Democrats have not figured this out. I don't think they ever will. They certainly don't have it to the level that JD does. But, man, what a special conversation with a guy who everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
I think our hope at the end of it for you, our listener and viewer, that we value more than anything is that you get a little insight beyond what it is that you've seen about these people, right? And I think the vice president is a perfect example of this. The left is always like, he's this, he's that. Remember last summer, it was like, oh, he's weird. We did the fishing trip, and they're like, he's not weird. Did the debate, definitely not weird. Like, maybe smarter than all of you, but not weird. And this one, it's like, okay, how you operate in your own lives and how, guys like us, it's you want to make your friends laugh. Think a little bit, have some discussions, but like we all have our things. When you go to happy hour after work or whatever with your buddies, you want to make each other laugh.
Well, yeah, so that was the interesting thing. When you brought up that question at JD about, like, do you have a group chat? Do you have, like, a text chain from your buddies back home and all that sort of stuff? It was interesting to me because so much of his life is different now. Like, he can't go to the bar around the corner, talk to a bartender, talk to some random strangers. Hey, what are you thinking about this, that, the other thing? So, like, all of those inputs that we normally have in our lives of talking to normal people about, like, what's it like? He doesn't have those anymore.
Yeah.
So in a way, that text chain with his buddies back home is even more important than it is for all of us.
Yeah. Totally.
You know what I mean?
It keeps you in check. Right? I mean, you have a hovering group of people around you at all times telling you what it is that you need to know and carrying all of your stuff and whatever. But he's still got like the same 10 dudes busting his balls.
You looked like a dork in that interview.
Which is, look, if we didn't ask, you wouldn't know. And that's kind of like where we see our role. I mean, there was some interesting Cincinnati discussion that you had with that.
Loved it.
I thought the it's too much Ohio from my taste.
This is the thing I love about him. The part of the authenticity is the guy understands where he came from, and he will never stop talking about it. Because people who are proud of their town, proud of what they came from,
here we go.
They talk about it. They just do.
Ohio.
Yeah.
My God,
And
you
the
didn't get enough.
The Bengals optimism, by the way, boy, does that sound pretty familiar.
What they get Trey Hendrickson back for a day, and they're like, "We're gonna win the Super Bowl."
Yeah.
We won't even pay the guy.
He's gonna have fun playing in Omaha next year. Build him a stadium, buddy. No, but look, it was a great interview. We're really appreciative to the vice president, the vice president's office, all of his staff. who did
Terrific folks. Super helpful.
Just a terrific job. And by the way, he's got a guy went to my high school.
Yeah.
Wild.
That was awesome.
Parker. What's up, bud? I mean, that was hilarious. Go Skips.
Yeah, Tonka guy.
Yeah, Tonka, big Tonka guy. A friend of Maynard's.
Friend of Maynard.
You know?
We are big fans of Maynard.
We are big
here on
fans
the Ruthless
of
Variety
Maynard's.
Program.
As soon as you dropped that on him, he was like, "Oh, Maynard's. I used to take my dates to Maynard's."
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Which
Well, walleye sandwich?
by the way, what a king move.
Oh, yeah,
to take a date to Maynard's.
Yeah, that's not where you go.
No,
That's not where you go, but that guy did.
he did.
What a stud. The other piece of this that you all don't know that we'll let you in on, Carolyn Levitt, when she was in here last week, I guess, invited us to go be a part of the sports council thing. And Duncan graciously volunteered for that assignment. Now, unlike Ashbrook, Duncan had probably never been in the Brady room before and didn't know what to expect from this assembled crowd. It was a very hot day here in Washington, D.C. Journos, they're not like the most hygienic, put together group of people.
You just want me to brain dump the whole thing?
Do it.
I can brain dump the whole thing. I mean, my opinion of the Washington press corps started very, very low. I have spent now my entire life one day in the Brady room and doing a press avail at the White House.
Maybe your last.
It's in the fucking basement. These people are unbelievable. Okay, so the President of the United States is going to do this press avail on this EO he's going to be doing on sports.
He's got LT there for crying out loud.
He's got LT. He's got
Butker.
Bryson
Triple
DeChambeau.
H.
He's got Triple H,
Yeah.
dude. You've got just
Annika
huge
Sorenstam,
stars.
Harrison Butker. Yeah.
stars of sports in America, and we're basically pushed into the Roosevelt room with these people who've been sitting in the Brady room all day. None of them apparently ever thought to maybe look up in Google Sports. Maybe ask a question about fucking sports at the sports press conference. And I'm sitting around people who smell like BO and want to ask about Epstein and trade deals instead of the thing that we're all there to gather to do. It was fucking embarrassing.
That's what I find so fascinating because Smash and I spent a big portion of our career in press. And there were genuine newsmaking moments that resonate with the American people. But no matter what, when you throw it open to the assembled press, they don't ask about it because they don't understand things. And
it's not understanding, dude. It's not that they don't understand it. Like, you could have done 3 Google searches. It's a lack of intellectual curiosity.
Yeah, dude.
They sat in this fucking room, like caged animals for hours.
Just sweating their asses off.
Like waiting for this press avail.
Yeah.
They could have Googled what Donald Trump did with his executive order, how he's trying to save college sports.
Yep.
They could have maybe Googled the NCAA and
The fitness
antitrust and all of these sorts of
Yeah.
things. We didn't get a single question about the NCAA. We didn't get a single question about the antitrust legislation, the exemption that's running its way through Congress right now. We got none of those questions in the press avail about the thing.
Yeah.
We got questions about Jeffrey Epstein and about some trade deals because these people they lack an intellectual curiosity about politics.
Yeah.
All it is about they can go to a cocktail party there after they leave the room and be like, hey, did you see how I own Trump on that thing?
Right.
Nothing about the
All which,
actual
by
news.
the way, wouldn't you-
There's news-making opportunities there. Like Donald Trump could have talked about the antitrust exemption for the NCAA.
Which would have been massive
news in sports in the entire country. This is a guy who's going to preside over a World Cup and an Olympics as president of the United States, and not a single person in that fucking room thought about talking about sports. And I sat there screaming, being like, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President. And they were talking to a bunch of people who don't give a fuck about sports. These fucking dorks don't deserve to have this job. Dude, it's like it was embarrassing. I sat in the room with these people, and none of these people could tell you who was playing Week 1 in the NFL. No one had any idea, and it boggles my mind because it seems like the base level of doing your job is maybe a fucking Google search before you get in that room.
Do you have a little bit more appreciation for what Smash deals with?
No.
What I would say to you, Duncan, just to add on to that, is they care more about themselves than they do about the people who are reading what it is.
It's just not hard,
and
dude.
Their audience, right?
I mean, they don't care about the audience.
We've thought a lot about this as we were doing our thing with Fox, and we understood like the thing that they kept talking about as we were discussing everything. It's like audience. We care more about our audience than anything else. We got to make sure that these people are getting what it is that they want. That is why they quadruple everybody else's ratings. Audience.
Well, and I'm saying all this just because I'm someone who loves sports.
Yeah.
In particular, college sports. And so
I don't think that makes you unique as an
right,
American man,
like that,
by the way.
That's right. And like that.
Pretty red-blooded.
But like it pisses me off that they didn't actually care about the thing that was happening.
Because it's a thing.
But like honestly, I think you could put me in the Brady room on some random topic, and if I'm going to sit in that room for 90 minutes, you bet your ass I'm going to Google 3 things, so maybe I ask a question that's germane to the issue at hand.
Right.
None of these reporters even do that. That's the thing that pisses me off. Yeah. It's not just about not informing your audience. It's like, dude, fucking
do your basics.
Are you embarrassed
to
do this job and not actually think maybe creatively about how you might ask a question?
It's so true, but what makes it even funnier to me is like they've watched Donald Trump operate for now like 9 years on a political stage. Mm-hmm. And they think it's going to go well.
It's terrible.
Like he's doing a thing on sports. And they're like, no, I know what I'm going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Like, never mind the fact that the last 4 years, Jeffrey Epstein would have had to have been Googled itself for this press corps. They never would have discussed it one way or another.
Right.
But until it's a liability for Trump, or a perceived liability, I should say. And then they're like, they're all in. They're going to do all kinds of stories on this kind of thing. But then, like, the idea that these people have the time to just sort of like take over an entire press conference?
You have one of the most famous golfers in the world in that room, and it's Bryson DeChambeau.
It's Liv.
And he plays golf for Liv. And the head of the PGA has specifically asked Donald Trump to help facilitate perhaps a merger between Liv and the PGA. Someone could ask that question and maybe make some news about what's the future of golf, Mr. President. We know you're intimately involved in this merger between Liv and PGA. What's the status of that?
I've seen polling
could make news.
On Epstein. It's like 7% or less of people in America that give a shit about that story. There is roughly 65% of men in this country who really want to know the answer to that question.
And nobody asked it. Nobody asked it.
It's just an incredible situation. It's just disgusting. Well, anyway, thank you for doing it. We did a Will hit, by the way, while you were gone.
You got to talk about Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, we did.
And I got to sit there around sweaty journalists.
This is disgusting, dude. I really feel bad.
Which, by the way, I loved that JD weighed in with both feet on that thing. Where he's like, no, Democrats, please continue to talk about how you're a Nazi if you find Sydney Sweeney attractive. It's so good.
So good.
It's so good. Great interview, a great day, and it's been a great week. I will say that we were in the old executive.
EEOB.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a lot to see there. Like, we got a tour of the vice president's ceremonial office and all the things, like the desk that Nixon,
it was Nixon's desk. Yep.
The old Nixon desk, and they pull that thing out, and it's got all the signatures from all the vice presidents. I did laugh, by the way, that the OG vice presidents who signed this desk are like, they did it in like a ballpoint pen. And it's
like Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Like, think about the stature of Dwight Eisenhower. Signs it with a ballpoint pen, and then Al Gore gets in there and is like, no, I'm going to use a wood-burning tool so that everybody sees my name. Kamala Harris, smug, had the funniest line. He's like, that looks like that was auto-penned.
Totally. But it was interesting. And so, we were talking to some of our partners, people that we work with in this show, and AFP brought to our attention the thing that they've been working on with the White House, which I find completely
wonderful.
amazing.
It's really good.
It's a founders museum that's there in the executive, and I'll just read you just to give you a summary of. It's a living tribute to the men, women, and moments that forged America. Fantastic thing to have in the White House. Through cutting-edge technology and eye-catching displays, the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, guests can tour the Founders Museum and hear directly from the likes of Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and Abigail Adams.
Oh, hell yeah. This is the America 250 thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Huge.
part of their
Yes.
America 250
Awesome.
thing that we had our
Yeah,
boy
yeah,
in
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about last week. And this is, you've long heard us, the fellas, lament the lack of education and appreciation for America's founding, what we are as a country, whatever. The AFP guys partnered with the White House and are pushing this to make sure that people get involved and actually see this stuff. And spending 20 minutes in and around this place today, man, it's impressive.
And the thing is that is critical is, I think the Sydney Sweeney thing is perfect context, is because essentially we had a decade of communists being like, everything about America is bad, it's white supremacy, and you should feel awful about being an American. It's like, actually, this country is the greatest country on earth, and it's in no small part because of the founders who helped frame this country and all our wonderful accomplishments, and that should be celebrated.
Yeah, and they're encouraging everybody to come see it. Like, if you come to DC, try to go see that, and we can help sort of direct you in the right way if you're a listener and you're trying to get in and see that.
And I'm telling you, man, nothing shows that contrast more than Dwight Eisenhower, one of the greatest presidents that we have ever had in the history of this country. He's done so much, and his name was just in a ballpoint pen. And then the Democrats are like, no, my signature needs to be bigger than his. Al Gore is like, no, I will wood burn this.
The signature has really left an impression on you, Smash.
It really did. You guys have seen these images of Eisenhower when he was at the top of everything, winning on D-Day and helping save the entire Western world. And he has just a very small row of adornments on his jacket. And you think about what Democrats have done, and you think about that lunatic trans person they had at the Department of HHS when Democrats were in charge.
Rachel Levine.
Yes. They care about themselves. It's like what these journos do. They care about themselves. They care about their message. They don't care about the country. And you think about a guy like Eisenhower, and it's just his name very faintly. Yeah. He's America. Eisenhower's America. JD Vance is America. Donald Trump is America. Not saying that Donald Trump is humble. Our great president is very, very open about how wonderful he is, and I do love that. But these Democrats who do not belong in that conversation.
Yeah. So if you go to whitehouse.gov/Founders Museum, you can get into all of that. We can try to help if you have problems with it. But do it if you go. Use the hashtag Founders Museum because they want to see all this stuff.
Yeah.
Both the White House is proud of it, AFP proud of it, like they should be. It's great stuff. You got to be a part of it. Dems are up to it again, fellas. They're up to it again. So we're not breaking news. We've covered this for months and months. These people are nuts.
Yeah, they're absolutely deranged.
Theater kids gone wild.
Yeah,
That's it.
So Congressman Brian Steele just tried to have a normal weekend with the family, and then this shows up. Clip one.
Upside down American flag in a coffin. People are carrying this to his house.
Yes,
at his home, and the coffin in question reads, "Here lie the hopes of the most venerable killed by the big, beautiful bill."
Come on.
Signed into law by President Donald J. Trump and endorsed by Lion Bill Steele.
It says, "Rest in peace, democracy, 1776 to 2025."
Jeez.
So, like, the big, beautiful bill is like when democracy dies. And here's the thing.
People getting a tax cut.
Right.
You see the crew. Can I get that clip one again? What do we notice about these activists in this clip? Okay, they're like 300
Look at the
years
lady
old.
in the cane.
Like, this is the Democrat Party now.
That's
and
it.
And I think the best thing is it transitions perfectly into the next story.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely does because the American people have taken note. And we did some polling last week. This is an updated version. Graphic 2, if you don't mind. This shows what is a precipitous decline of the Democratic Party and increase of the Republican Party. Smug, I think you highlighted this one.
Yeah, so this graphic shows that among men 18 to 29, the shift has been 44 points Republican, R plus 44.
44? I mean, that's just like, you only get like acts of war or like a nation has to be paralyzed
The
at
Democrats
some point.
declared war on men. That's
did.
what leads to that. And then so 18 to 29, women, R plus 14. Young women have even shifted 14
interesting.
points to the right.
Interesting. So it turns out that
Graduation on Zoom and all this bullshit that ruined these young kids' lives that had an impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does. And maybe siloing off one segment of society from another and using it to attack another is not great politics.
And then among men,
interesting.
30 to 49, R plus 15.
Huh.
Among women, 30 to 49, D plus 3. Isn't that an interesting little outlier? Among men, 50 to 64, R plus 3. Among women, 50 to 64, R plus 1. And then this is the kicker and what ties it kind of like to the video we saw earlier. 65 plus men, D plus 6. 65 plus women, D plus 2. So it seems like all the energy...
I thought you were thank a boomer, dude.
Well, I am.
But
This
that
is a
doesn't-
very select group of radicalized people in our country who are literally dropping off coffins and walking with the American flag upside down.
Don't thank a boomer.
Very, very strange behavior. And all the energy is with the youth and the right. And I think it's a wonderful thing for this country. The future looks bright.
I totally agree. Well said. If you haven't seen this by now, chances are you are going to. And I kind of hate to give it free publicity. Definitely don't buy this book. Definitely don't buy it. Although, as we discussed on Will, it would make for a terrific fantasy football punishment. Kamala Harris has released a new book about her 107 days as a presidential candidate entitled 107 Days. Not great. Not great. I don't know what can be in this, fellas. She tried to do like a little promo thing for it. It was incomprehensible.
Oh,
as
she's going to
everything
be on
else.
Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
To
Oh, yeah.
promote
Of
this.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. I wonder, like, I don't.
Whoa.
It almost feels like all these things are connected.
Oh, crazy.
Oh, like very unpopular things, very unpopular show canceled.
I can't believe it got canceled.
I can't believe it.
It's like she's going on the loser show as a loser to discuss being a loser.
It's perfect. It's
Awesome.
Perfect brand alignment, I would say. I at the top here. What I love about this book, it's called 107 Days. And I saw the tweet that she put out, and I quote tweeted it immediately when I saw it on Twitter. I just think it's super funny that even the name of the book is an excuse for why she didn't win.
100%.
You know?
And like the.
Oh, I only had 107 days. I mean, what could I do?
You know, yeah, the inference, of
How
course.
could I beat the guy who took a bullet and, we've been trying to put in prison for 18 months before I get announced? It was hard for me having everything handed to me, having the entire Democratic Party put me up like the kid trying to dunk a Fisher-Price basketball. Everything was tough for me in that 107 days.
And the media went from...
And all the major donors gave her $1 billion.
$1 billion. And the media went from a place where, like, boy, she's really not helping Biden. Like, she's a very substandard vice president, to as soon as she's the nominee. How impressive.
Yeah, they got like a software update. They're like, Brat Summer has begun.
They did all of that. And like, the 107 days, as you said, it's a baked-in excuse of like, this is how short things were, and we couldn't possibly run a campaign. And like the obvious part that we covered throughout that 107 days is that there was like 104 days too long. Like our 72-hour rollout, people, with the full assistance of the press and the Fisher-Price dunking and all of that shit, people were like, wow, she's a strong candidate. And then she talked.
Yeah.
And then she had to speak in public. And then she had to have a position on some things. And it just disintegrated. Right? So 107 days, it's like, yeah, man. I mean, if anything, that you should have trimmed that down to about 4 or 5. The very max. It was like the best chance that she had.
Yeah.
So we came up with so maybe some alternative.
Yeah, an alternative list for book names.
And we did a top 10.
We did a top 10.
Top 10 of alternative.
In case Colbert wants to remember what like a hilarious late night show would
Yeah,
look
like a Letterman top 10 situation.
Who wants to start with this?
I think how about Duncan? This was your
Yep.
idea, wasn't it? I think
Yeah,
you should
okay.
do the honors.
Okay. You want me to start from the top or
Yeah,
the bottom?
start from the top.
Why don't you just do a couple, hand it off?
Okay. Number 1, the Complete Salad Cookbook.
That seems about right. That seems about right.
Number 2, Great Lamentations. Play on Great Expectations.
Yeah.
The Great Bratsby.
Oh yeah,
That's it.
good
That's
one.
good.
I
That's
like
good.
that one.
Smash. What else do we got?
We've got the grapes of wine.
I like that one.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one. I also love the catcher and the coconut tree.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm. She should have named it that. One more, the old man and me.
Yeah.
Smugs?
We've got Tuesdays with Biden.
This is like a Tuesdays with Maury.
If you guys don't remember, so Tuesdays with Maury, it was all about
Mitch Albom.
Yeah.
Mitch Albom hanging out with some old dude in
Right.
his dying years.
Yeah.
Right,
That really was the Biden presidency.
That one hits hard.
That's hard.
Yeah.
I think the last 3 you should take them.
Okay, well, the other one, we did it, Joe. Navigating a refractory period in your golden years. That's
We
something.
did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. That feels sexual in nature.
It's very, very much so.
This one could be perceived as such. Of course, we didn't mean that here on the Ruthless Variety Program. The Adventures of Suckleberry Finn.
I mean, that one could be sexual too. I'm just saying.
And a lot of discussion about her intake. And
It could have been a classic. She blew it.
oh,
Could have been a classic.
we've gone off the rails here at the Ruthless Variety Program. The last one, number 10, 107 proof.
Yeah.
More accurate representation of her run.
I got to give a shout out to Jack Bauer After Dark. That was his submission.
Was it?
107 proof.
That's so good.
Oh, that's
Outstanding
good.
stuff.
That's
So
very,
good.
very good. So we're a big fan of the You've probably seen it on the counter here a few times. The Celsius situation. Love it. It's great stuff. They tell me it's not great for me, but it does.
No, it is. It's all natural. Truly, that's the difference between Celsius. It's Maha as opposed to like Red Bull, which uses artificial stuff.
Well, they're not paying you yet, Smug. So
Doesn't mean they can't start. That's,
Yeah. easy on the full endorsement. Anyway, it turns out they made a little bit of an error.
This is amazing.
And the Daily Mail reports that Celsius accidentally put High Noon vodka seltzer into Celsius
Oh,
cans.
man.
Yeah. So High Noon is recalling some 12-pack beach variety packs after cans filled with vodka seltzer were mislabeled as Celsius energy drinks. Let me just say, there's maybe a couple shows ago, we have this very thing, the beach variety pack.
Yeah.
And I felt like maybe we got a little bit off the rails because I'm pretty sure we all had a beach variety, like several beach variety packs. We may be victims.
You think we got roofied?
I think we might be victims of this
Are we
situation.
entitled to compensation?
Yeah. We're going to get a trial lawyer bonanza here. But I mean, I don't know that I would apologize for this if it's Celsius. Like, I feel like they're just adding fun to the world. Mm-hmm. Right?
There are a lot of brands out there who understand marketing in a brand new way.
I mean, that's
and
the
I'm
thing.
not accusing them of
Yep.
throwing their label on High Noons on purpose. But what I'm saying is that brands are using controversy in a way that really draws attention to themselves.
I mean, I would turn this, especially for like the kids, into like a Willy Wonka golden ticket
That's
situation.
exactly what I'm saying.
Like if you're like some kid in high school, you're like, yeah, let's go grab beach varieties. and
Yeah,
rip
go
through 'em.
grab beach variety.
No, I like that. I also think it would be cool if it was sort of a Russian roulette situation where you got like a cube of Celsius and maybe some of them have alcohol and some of them don't.
Shotgun 'em.
And maybe we just shotgun a couple here before we record and we see who's fucked
Just
up.
see what happens.
Great idea. I love it.
Why not?
That's the kind of advice you can only get here at the Ruthless Variety Program.
Yeah.
Fantastic things. Kids, one and all.
We like to party.
All right, so you guys want some animal stuff? They're at it.
Please.
Always.
Do it.
Always.
You know, like, and here's the thing. Like, if you've been a long time listener, you know we like to talk about the macaque.
Right. It's a hot topic of conversation.
Everybody talks about macaque. And in this case, it's more sinister.
Well, it's Big Macaque. They're actually organized now.
Jesus.
Why are you laughing? This is serious. They're organized. It's a cartel now. It's Big Macaque.
It is Big Macaque, and it is in your face, according to the Wall Street Journal.
Uh-huh.
Thieving monkeys. Can we play the clip? Do we have a clip?
Yeah, I don't think there's any audio here, but what we're seeing is this macaque.
Look at that.
He's running across these tables. He's stealing a hat.
Yeah,
He's stealing glasses.
sunglasses.
Stealing a hat.
He's going over and he's trying to steal.
Watch that.
Yoink,
Yep.
yoink. There's the sunglasses.
Stealing the
Oh,
sunglasses.
and others. It seems pretty specific. Like maybe it's just the glasses. Yeah, it's very heavily on the glasses.
It's heavy on the glasses, and the reason why is that what they've done is they have this organized extortion racket where they take what's easily available, and then you basically have to pay off the macaque with.
You got to pay Macaque?
You got to pay macaque with a mango.
Here's how it works: is there's a criminal enterprise, right? And they have trained these monkeys that they're like, monkey, you go get me this stuff, and I will trade you mangoes for it, right? And so the monkeys are stealing sunglasses. They're stealing iPhones. They're stealing iPhones from people, and they take it back to the
Where is
criminals.
this?
It's in Bali. This is good
Oh,
question.
it's
This is
in
taking
Bali?
place in Bali.
Yeah.
And so at these like temples in Bali, these criminals are like, hey, you know, we've trained these monkeys to steal phones, sunglasses. We give the monkey mangoes and stuff, and then they just sell the stuff.
Wait, the monkeys sell it?
No, they sell it. The monkeys are in for mangoes, right?
Wait,
They're
so the
dumb.
monkeys. So there's a criminal enterprise that are
Correct.
behind. The monkeys
Yep.
are actually the executioner
Yeah,
here.
Exactly.
they're just the
They're
muscle.
just the muscle.
They're the muscle.
How do we take care of this?
Well, first of all, PETA is out of control. Okay, we've talked about this on the show in the past, but PETA is only concerned with animals. We here at the Ruthless Variety Program have a competing organization called the People for the Ethical Treatment of People. We think people are more important than animals. And so in this case in Bali, if you see a monkey that is stealing things, you put that monkey down.
Yeah.
Every single one of these monkeys needs to be put out of commission.
And that's the thing is, like, the only way that, I mean, we've discussed this, the only way consequences are ever understood, or a lesson anything can be learned, is there has to be consequences, and they have to be dire. The monkeys have to be killed. And you have to make sure that other monkeys see you killing the monkey publicly, brutally, savagely. Like you saw in that video. Can we run that clip again? Look, they're putting up with this, like thinking it's like a funny thing.
I mean, but it's also sitting on top. Like you just give that thing a push off the wall.
And here's,
right?
here's the other
Right.
thing is like, if it's not even the monkey that took your sunglasses, grab any monkey and murder it in front of the rest. You have to
You
start
gotta be
putting word
careful
out.
with the macaque, though.
You kill him. You have to kill it in front of all of them. Lay the body out. Because here's the thing is as I'm reading this article, it says here that like this is showing like significant amounts of reasoning among the monkeys. It says here, in one instance, a handler tossed the monkey a bag of fruit for a stolen phone. The
Yeah.
monkey held on. So the handler gave it another bag. Then
Yeah.
another and another. Finally, when the monkey couldn't hold all the fruit, it dropped the phone. So like
Exactly.
they feel like they're in a position to bargain, and that's
Right.
all in their cause.
I'm with Smug on
An
this.
extortion monkey.
The only way to level the score and make the monkey understand is you take his little monkey friend and you break his neck in front of him.
in front of them, rip them to
You know,
pieces.
I remember in high school, I read this book by Joseph Conrad called The Heart of Darkness.
Yeah,
Maybe
good
you've
book.
seen a movie. called Apocalypse Now, and I know that what Colonel Kurtz did is he would just snap the neck of the monkey.
He taught a lesson to the monkey kingdom.
And what that is it's about power. And the monkeys understand that, and these people don't have the courage to do the right thing.
Yep. I'm serious, man. You got to kill. Like, if you ever face a situation, and you know what, this goes across so many different ways. Like, you know how when you go over to a friend's house and their dog starts jumping on you, and what's your first thought? You're not in charge of the place. Clearly, you don't know what you're doing. I lose all respect for people. It's like, oh wow, looks like you're not the boss of your own house. Looks like the
So
dog is running the place.
you're saying if you walk into your friend's house and the dog jumps on you, kill the dog.
Kill the dog.
Well, at the very least, a sleeper hold.
I'm calling DHS. I'm saying, Christy, we got a problem here.
Poor Cricket.
She knows.
She knows.
She knows how to handle that situation.
Yeah.
There's a gravel pit near you. You know, those dogs, they never stood a chance. And if you don't have a banana pole accessible like you do have to exercise caution with macaque.
Right.
They've been known to rip your arms off and beat you with them.
Yeah.
You know, and make sure it's not, you know, it's got to be like a manageable sized macaque. Can't be, you know, if it's all jacked up, you don't want to put yourself in personal danger.
I think the head of the macaque
Jesus
is
Christ.
very vulnerable. It's sensitive. What? I think...
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Vice President.
Appreciate the Vice President for giving us time here on the Ruthless Variety Program. Our apologies to Fox News and everybody that trusted us with their information.
You asked for it.
As you can tell, nothing has changed. For those of you who are worried about it, you get it whether you like it or not here on the Ruthless Variety Program. We've got a question of the day. It went back to Kamala's book. You heard our 10. What are your 10? Like, give us one.
Yeah.
Give us one.
What's a more accurate title?
Because if nothing else, like when you like and subscribe to the Ruthless Variety Program, we read them all. And for us, this is our entertainment. We love to see what you come up with. And if you can accurately title something that should be the name of 107 Days or whatever, we're going to roar about it. And this morning, we'll roar about it. So do all of that. Like and subscribe. Check out some merch while you're there. A big, big, big thank you to the White House, to the Vice President, to all the Vice President's staff who are lovely individuals. Everybody was just absolutely terrific to deal with. We hope to do a lot more of it. And with that, fellas, I think we did it.
I think so. Absolute banger of an episode. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much to my good friend, Vice President JD Vance. Thank you so much to our listeners. Remember, if you have not yet, go to the YouTube, hit that subscribe. It's more fun in video. So until next time, Minions, keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs. We'll see you Tuesday. Stay ruthless.